What is going on, movie fans, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all my review on easily one of the most disturbing, disgusting, nastiest films I've seen so far this year. We're talking about When Evil Lurks. Now, this film has a limited release in theaters. I'm pre-recording this. It's available on October 6th, if I'm not mistaken, but it will have a wide release available to stream at the comfort of your own home on October 27th on Shudder. Now, is this the most disturbing, disgusting, scariest film of the year? We'll be discussing that and much more in today's spoiler-free review. But first, let's start the conversation in the comments. Let me know if you've heard of this film. And of course, once you've seen it, let's talk about it. What worked? What didn't work? Were you scared while watching it? Were you disturbed by watching it? And since we're in that time of the year of October, why don't you list for me some of your favorite horror films that you have seen so far this year in the comments below. So, let's just get into it, man. I'm going to give you all, for those that aren't too familiar with this film, what is it all about? Well, we're basically following these residents of a small town that discover that a demon is about to be born among them as they desperately try to escape, but it might be too late. So let's just get into it. I want to talk about my feeling right now because I just got done watching this film like 30 minutes ago. Shout out to Shudder for sending me the link to check it out. The feeling right now is I'm on the edge right now, man. I'm a little bit disturbed by what I've seen. Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome to the community. But if you a regular viewer, y'all know I'm desensitized towards horror. Horror and science fiction are my two favorite genres. Like, I grew up in horror, so there's very few things that make me scared or make me want to close my eyes. Like, it rarely happens to me. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man, I had to pause this movie quite a few times. And that is just due to the fact that we have this director here. This is coming from Argentina. There was a film I saw at Fantastic Fest this year by the name of Coffee Table, and something happens in that film that really left me disturbed. I thought, man, I don't know if I'm gonna see anything else this year that's gonna get me having that feeling of like, oh, I don't know if I can continue to watch this film. This movie does it times 10, y'all. Like, this is a very disturbing, unhinged, very unsettling film. There's not a lot of hope in this movie. This is a dreadful watch, and it has a lot of good things going for it. I want to focus on, number one, the story. We have seen, I'll just speak for myself, I've seen a million possession films, and they all kind of follow the same rule book. You have a priest, you have a kid or an adult that's possessed. We've seen all the haba booba, all the lines they do and the holy water. We've seen it before. We know where things are headed. The thing I like about this film is it doesn't follow that path. It is not traditional to the sense of, number one, it is quote unquote a possession film, that there is a demon, but the way they approach it is almost like it's a virus. You can get infected by this possession, and we're seeing it hopping from person to person, and you don't know what's going to happen, right? And I like that approach because talking about those other films, you're kind of knowing where the story is headed. You can kind of predict where things are going, but I like what the director does is we're maybe like 2 steps ahead of the actual characters, but a lot of times we're learning things as they're learning things. So a lot of things are, being revealed from the story. You get a little bit of the character background. You kind of get a sense of the rules that are kind of broken at points of this film, but I like being on a film going journey and you're not predicting things left and right. Like, I didn't expect to see this person's head ending up there or this person being eaten. It's just like it catches you off guard, and I like that sense of not knowing what's going to happen next. And I always want to praise practicality. Like, the practical effects in this film are damn near flawless. Like, I always prefer practical effects versus CGI, and some of the practical effects, I'm gonna give you all a pro tip: do not eat, do not drink while watching this film, because I'm talking there's not only blood and brains and body parts, people being dismembered, and pus coming out of places you don't want to see. The practical effects, kudos to the department of bringing that to life. It was disgusting to watch, but again, it's very flawless when it comes to that portion. But let me pivot and talk about the gore and the violence. This film does not hold back. Like, I'm always someone that says, okay, I'm gonna watch this horror film, I'm gonna judge how good the horror is gonna be, how good the kill is gonna be, how much is gonna affect me based on the very first kill. And the first kill of this film tells you everything. No holds bars, no limits. Like, no one's safe in this film. I'm talking men, women, children, dogs, cats, goats, mothers, and the kids. Like, there are a lot of movies when kids are about to be hurt or potentially killed off. Directors like to leave it up to your imagination, like, oh, the horrors of what you can imagine is happening. No, the director shows you what is happening. It shows you what it looks like when a kid is attacked or eaten or what have you. There's not much left up to imagination. And again, I want to put an emphasis on this. It does not care if you are a child or a mother-to-be. It does not hold bars. And there's two scenes that I'm thinking about right now as I'm talking that I can't shake out of my head. One particular scene, I had to pause and say, is that character doing what and they definitely are doing, and it is just something that I can't get out of my head right now. But look, this film isn't perfect. It does come with its flaws. Like, for example, to me, I thought the plot, even though it wasn't predictable at any point, but I found the plot to be a little thin for my personal taste. And I feel like the film had the opportunity to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the character development. Like the film, as I mentioned, you learn things about certain relationships. We have these two brothers, and one of the brothers has a family, and you find out why he's no longer with his wife and why he doesn't have the kids. And you learn all this stuff, but I wish it was more fleshed out. So when certain things happen to certain characters, I emotionally was like, that's effed up because that is a kid or that is a mother. Like in my internal humanness of it, like that's messed up. But I wish the film would have put an emphasis on like the emotional depths of seeing someone that you love and care for being affected by this disease and this possession. So I wish there was more of that in the story, within the plot and the development. But also, I mentioned a little bit earlier, there are certain rules that are somewhat established in this world where there are certain characters that are very familiar with possessions and demonic presences and how you get rid of them. There's 7 rules you have to follow. But then it gets messy and it breaks the rules, and it also kind of contradicts itself in a way where a character would say, don't do this when you're in the area or facility of a possession or someone that's possessed, and we see characters breaking the rules. Now, to be fair, some of them are breaking rules because they're scared or terrified. You're not thinking, oh, what was step 6? I get that. But then there's like, it's almost like the film says, hey, this happened before, we're aware of this demonic presence, so this is the protocol that we're going to follow. But then there are like, our main characters are not believing the protocol. Some characters like, no, possession, this is fake, this is, religion's not real here. It's like, wait a minute, you've established that there's a presence here, there's an understanding of what's going on, but then you're playing dumb to what's going on. So it kind of, like I said, it kind of contradicts itself at points in the film. There are like dumb decisions by characters, some decisions that you feel as though the character really feels like this is justified, I'm making the right call, but sometimes you're thinking to myself, that is just stupid, why would you do that? So there are moments where I'm just like, come on now, that just seems like there's something that's going to benefit the plot and not actually something the character would do in that situation based on what we've experienced with the character so far. So little nitpicks, but again, not the best plot. Very kind of, like I said, they don't really play by the rules they established. So those are kind of my main criticisms. So before I give you all my overall thoughts, give you my score, and let you know if you should watch this, I want to take the time to thank you all for sticking around to this point in the review. If you haven't already, consider hitting the like button, sharing today's review, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and of course, consider subscribing to the channel. Overall, without a shadow of a doubt, When Evil Lurks is easily one of the most disturbing, nastiest, disgusting, unnerving films I've seen in a very long time, and it has a route to the story in which I like that you don't know what's going to happen next. No one's safe. You're on this journey with the characters, and it is very disturbing to watch these things fold out. But again, I do wish the plot, character development was more of a focus, more so than the shock value. But overall, I'm going to give this film a 3.5 out of 5. It had the limits, like on a horror level, this is a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, one of the most disturbing, disgusting films I've seen in a long time. But on a character level, story level, plot level, it didn't really hit those heights for me. But hey, I'm gonna warn y'all now, again, if you see it in theaters or if you're gonna watch it on Shudder on October 27th or later whenever you're watching this video, I'm warning you all, this is not an easy film to watch. Do not eat any food, and this is coming from again, I consider myself initiated. There's very little things that get me in horror films. Don't eat food while watching this. You will regret it. But hey, take my advice if you will. Let me know in the comments if you've seen the film, and of course, once you've seen it, pros, cons, favorite moments, least favorite moments. Is this one of the scariest films of the year? I don't think so, but it is the most disturbing, so it does get that title from me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching today's video. Just a friendly reminder to like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments, and of course, consider subscribing to the channel. And also, let me know some of your favorite horror films that you've seen so far this year in the comments below. Thank you all again. Hope you're staying safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.